What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. You saw the title, man. We're going to be talking about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the TV series today. Going to do a spoiler-free review because this show did just come out, and I do think that everyone watching this should go out and watch this show. I think it's fantastic. Little spoiler alert right there. I think it's fantastic, but I want to come on here and talk about the show because I've been a huge fan of the 2005, pretty sure it was 2005, the 2005 movie starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I feel like a lot of people, that were born in the 90s are just like fans of that movie. They're fans of action movies. Their chemistry is so good in that movie. The comedy is so good. The action is so good. It's just a fantastic action movie, genuinely, from start to finish. I actually watched it for the first time with my partner, like their first time ever, which is crazy to get prepped for the show. And I told them, like, the show is probably going to be completely different. Obviously, like, they're not retarded, so they knew that ahead of time. But, like, going into this show, I didn't really know what to expect because, obviously, it is such a different take on the story. But I thought, obviously, seeing Donald and Maya both attached to the show, I knew that it was going to be great. But I didn't know that it was going to be as good as I thought it was. The very first review I saw was from, like, some 19-year-old white girl on TikTok. That was the very first thing she said was, "This show is so much better than the movie. So much better. It's not even close. It's not even fucking close." And I was like, they're literally not even the same. Like, it's literally, it would be like saying Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is so much better than the Tigger movie. Like, it's so fucking better. Like, it's not even the same. Like, it's insane. Like, you literally sound so fucking dumb. Literally, it's just like the same IP, but they're barely related. They are barely related. Like, aspects of the movie are in the show, but they take them and definitely flip them. And honestly, I would say that I enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed the movie. And they are on different levels, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the TV show delves more into relationships, specifically like interracial relationships and the dynamics of relationships and shit like that. The movie didn't really go into all that, you know what I'm saying? And some people might say that that's a detriment, but I actually thought that it was really good. I thought that the chemistry between Donald and Maya was insane, especially in the fighting and in the arguing. A lot of people, you'll hear them say that, like, arguing or yelling isn't acting, like it doesn't take that much to do that. But honestly, it really does. Like, to make an argument sound legit, like to make an argument sound real, that takes great directing and great acting from the actors. You know what I'm saying? I think A Marriage Story, unfortunately, is a great example of that because Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson play off each other so well during the arguments in that movie that I thought it was really well done in that regard. And I think that shines through also with Donald and Maya on this because it's so great. It's so great. I'm not going to spoil anything, like I said, but there's specifically this one argument that takes place in the woods that I thought was great. I thought it was great, and it felt really real, and I appreciated that. As far as comparisons to the movie, obviously, like I said, there are a lot of aspects of the movie that the TV show takes and flips on its tail, you know what I'm saying, and makes it its own, and that's the thing. It makes it its own, and I don't feel like, yeah, it's like a remake, but I feel like it's more of a retelling, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't feel like a remake. It doesn't feel like they're redoing. It feels like they're reimagining. And I think there's a huge difference between that. And I think that this show and these directors knew that that was going to be a point of contention with people who are huge fans of the movie and people who are obviously going to watch this show because it's the same IP. There are probably some people out here that aren't even going to watch the show because they don't think it's going to be as good as the movie. I know for a fact that when I saw that review comparing the two, like immediately comparing the two, I was like, I'm immediately less interested. But I'm trying to really like block that shit out of my head and go into shit with an open mind. I've been trying to do that for the past couple years. It's really hard for me, you know what I'm saying? But I really just try to go in there with not an open mind obviously, but I try to go in there with an empty mind. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me not to watch trailers or not to watch reviews or not to look shit up. That's hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I always want to know what I'm getting into, kind of. But I have noticed that if I do that a little less, I am pleasantly surprised. And I think I was pleasantly surprised with this TV show too. As far as a rating, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I know, crazy. I rated the movie a 5 out of 5. So take that with a grain of salt. I will say I did genuinely love the TV show, though. Like, I love the TV show. And obviously, when I talk about the movie, I'm definitely looking at it through nostalgia glasses. There are some things in the movie that I thought, like, obviously they didn't age well, but I think they age well because they're funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, aspects of, like, their house blowing up when they're 10 feet away from it and they're walking away completely fine. Angelina Jolie's makeup is completely perfect still, right? Like stuff like that. That was obviously like 2000s era that didn't age well, you know what I'm saying? Now it just makes me feel nostalgic. So obviously it's going to be crazy to see like the next generation like kids that are in middle school right now like watching this show, which is crazy. It's just crazy to think about shit like that. But it's going to be cool to see how this ages and how this progresses. And like obviously it's a limited series. I don't think it goes anywhere, and I do want to keep this spoiler free, but I loved the ending. I loved it. The last frame is fantastic. And there's even an extra credit scene that I also thought was hilarious and amazing. And I genuinely really loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Like I said, 4 out of 5. Make sure you check out Mr. and Mrs. Smith for yourself, especially if you're a fan of Donald or Maya. They're both fantastic in this. And the cameos, don't even get me started on the cameos, man. I love this show. I love this show. Make sure you check it out. It's streaming on Amazon Prime right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Got a lot of reviews coming up. Yay review dropping tomorrow. Kitty review dropping the day after that. So check those out. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.